Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of Jerald Napoles. He's a truly multifaceted personality. You know him for his incredible comedy, his dedication to fitness, and also a deeply personal journey that, frankly, shapes pretty much everything he
In our
does.
source material for this deep dive, it comes from a really engaging transcript. It's a YouTube vlog, specifically Ipki Thar workout buddy go see Jerald Napoles from Atienza vlogs. It's just a gold mine of candid insights, really.
Exactly. So our mission today is to go, beyond the surface. We want to extract those surprising facts, the profound insights into how Gerald's unique background and experiences have shaped his career, his personal philosophy, and maybe even the nature of comedy today. Prepare for some truly unexpected revelations here. Having seen Gerald's comedic talent up close, I was really interested in how this deep dive into the vlog transcript could reveal the roots of his, X factor. And it didn't disappoint. He just has this undeniable knack for making you laugh, often without even trying. As someone who's worked out with him maybe 4 or 5 times a week, I can tell you he's just naturally funny.
Well, what's truly fascinating here is how much of that natural humor, that character, is rooted in his origins.
Uh-huh.
Gerald grew up in Tondo. He describes it as survival of the fittest environment.
Yeah.
And this isn't just about high EQ in the way we might normally think about it. It's more like a street smart EQ
Yeah.
and an intuitive understanding of people forged in pretty extreme environment.
Take care.
And paradoxically, this proves to be a really powerful, authentic wellspring for his comedy. It's relatable.
And he shares some really striking anecdotes that illustrate this almost extreme desensitization to things many of us would find shocking. He talks about seeing people using marijuana and shabu right outside his house as a kid as if it was totally normal. There's this one story. He was only 10 years old watching basketball, and an adult he knew just hands him a wallet, says, "Hawakan mga tu! Hold this." Inside, a motor key and what they called piso.
Which is actually shabu, a quarter gram.
Yeah, 14 gram of shabu. And he's holding it, just 10 years old, knowing the risk, wondering if anyone would even help him if they got caught. Just wow.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, these early experiences, they provide that deep hugot, that deep truth or emotion
Yeah.
for his acting. They genuinely give his masa, his relatable for the masses comedy style, its profound appeal. He's also remarkably open to all types of humor, it seems. He seems genuinely unoffended by things, which is quite a rare trait these days.
Which brings us to a really interesting challenge, doesn't it? How someone like Gerald, with that background, navigates the often, politically correct landscape of modern comedy. He says he's very careful with what he puts out on social media. He understands people are kind of waiting for a misstep. But in controlled settings, maybe with close friends or certain audiences, he can be freely expressive.
And this raises an important point for all of us, really. Consider the specific examples he shared from the past, like a not politically correct 1990s Nongo joke he mentioned. Or think about how women were portrayed in shows like Palabaso Lake, or how figures like Jinky Odo were perceived and joked about back then. The contrast to today's heightened sensitivities around language and representation is just stark. What was maybe harmless humor then is often seen as offensive now. It really highlights a huge generational shift in what society thinks is okay.
It's such a complex dynamic, isn't it? Because on one hand, this increased societal awareness, it undeniably teaches morality, promotes inclusivity for marginalized groups. And that's a powerful positive evolution, no doubt. But on the other hand, it can sometimes feel like it constrains personal expression, even among close friends, right? Where you might find yourself self-censoring more. How do we as individuals, as a society, kind of balance those forces?
Well, it's a common misconception, I think, that comedians aren't intelligent. But Gerald argues, and I think pretty compellingly, that consistently making people laugh, which is often much harder than making them cry, requires a profoundly different kind of intelligence. It's about sharp observation, quick wit, a deep understanding of human absurdity.
That's a really key distinction. For Gerald, his comedy often comes out of the script or the situation, what you might call situational acting. And that's quite different from stand-up comedy, where you're delivering pre-written material, kind of cold. He points out how difficult it is to be purely off-the-cuff funny without that specific context or script to work from.
And when you look at his comedy idols, it really highlights his discerning eye, what he values. He admires bossing Vic Soto for that incredibly relaxed, nonchalant delivery, that ability to seem almost stupid on stage, like wearing a diaper in Bulagan, remember that? Yet off stage, he commands this strong but unintimidating presence. Then there's Jose Manalo, who Gerald says is just consistently funny on and off camera. And of course, Michael V. Gerald reveres him as a true master of his craft. Innovative characters, artistic excellence, turning popular songs into viral gold. Just incredible.
Right. And just as Gerald admires the craft of these legends, he also seems to keenly observe the mechanics of fame itself, including this shrewd strategy he calls leveling. Have you heard about this?
Ah, yes, the idea that interacting with more famous people
Exactly, whether it's positive or even negative interaction.
can elevate your own status just through publicity, cure exposure.
Yeah. And what does that tell us about the perceived value versus the actual value in today's celebrity culture? Is it primarily about talent or is it more about strategic association, making the right connections, maybe?
We definitely see this amplified in the digital
Yeah.
age. I mean, take the example mentioned in the source, Anatoly, the Russian prankster who ended up in a Philippine jail.
Mhm.
Even from problematic actions, virality can generate income, endorsements. So the source points out, he didn't seem to grasp the harsh realities of Philippine jails, built for 12, often housing 75, inmates sleeping standing up. Awful conditions. Yet even that kind of notoriety somehow can translate into a lucrative career for some people today.
It's a powerful and honestly sometimes unsettling observation about the current state of public perception, isn't it? Is all publicity truly good publicity? Are we in an era where notoriety, even from pretty unsavory acts, can just be monetized into a brand? It certainly makes you think about what we as an audience are implicitly endorsing when we click or watch. But his story, it extends beyond just the spotlight and the stage. There's another profound aspect. His rigorous fitness journey, and it carries its own surprising motivation. He used to be into bodybuilding, right? But now, at 42, he's deep into HX training, which sounds really demanding a mix of endurance and lifting while breathless. Very different from pure weightlifting.
Yeah, and his drive for this incredibly active lifestyle isn't about personal glory or just looking good. He calls it a desire for longevity and even immortality, but specifically so he can keep up with his future children. He recognizes the potential age gap he might have, and he wants to be able to run, bike, and just actively participate in their lives for decades to come. That's the goal.
And absolutely central to this vision for his future is his profound relationship with his fiancée, Kim Molina. They met working on the musical Rock of Ages, which is cool. But he actually pinpoints the pandemic lockdown, living together 247, as their true live-in trial.
And what truly solidified their bond, he shares this very openly, was Kim's unwavering financial support during that tough pandemic period. Apparently, she covered his mortgage, showed genuine concern for his investments. She basically told him, use my money so you don't lose your property.
Mm.
You saw this as a definitive sign. And a crucial checklist item for the strength and depth of their partnership. Their story kind of suggests that true partnership isn't always about two people being exactly alike. Sometimes it's about complementary differences, where diverse backgrounds can actually be catalysts for mutual growth and self-improvement.
That's such a fascinating dynamic. He even notes how Kim's more protected upbringing has helped him correct some of his own ugly habits, as he calls them. Habits he attributes directly to his Tondo past. It's this remarkable fusion of different life experiences coming together.
Which raises an interesting question. What is it about Gerald, with that background, that Kim finds so attractive? He introduces this concept of his patina, like the character and unique appeal derived from his lived experiences, his hardships. Kind of like the worn, rich texture on an old leather wallet. He believes she's drawn to this deep texture, this sign of enduring character.
And ultimately, Gerald reveals his deepest inspiration, the driving force behind it all, his single mother. As an only child, seeing her struggles firsthand, that ignited his intense drive for success. It wasn't just for himself, it was to provide for her, for Kim, and for their future family. He really emphasizes his mother's generous, pay-it-forward nature.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, and he contrasts the immediate helping community spirit he saw in Tondo with maybe more insulated environments, like gated communities. It shows how his mother's values and the realities of that community truly built his resilience and his giving spirit.
Wow, what an incredible deep dive into Jerald Napoles. We've truly peeled back so many surprising layers, haven't we? From his unique comedic perspective, shaped by those Tondo roots, to the profound motivations behind his fitness journey and his deep love for Kim and his family.
Indeed. Gerald's journey, it vividly exemplifies resilience, doesn't it? And that complex interplay between personal history and public persona. It truly shows how even the most challenging beginnings can forge a character rich with that undeniable patina he talks about. So here's a final thought for you, our listener. In a world that often values polished surfaces and carefully curated personas, What overlooked insights, what patina might we find if we truly take the time to understand the complex, messy, and deeply personal experiences that shape individuals? And how might that shift our own perspective on what truly defines success or character? Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.